All right. All right, wonderful. We should be good to go on both YouTube, Discord. Can everyone see me? Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? All right, now there's the live chat. All right. Are we in? If you're here, I see Barney, I see Dr. K, I see Little Faye, I see Matt, I see, or Mathos. Have we had a conversation about how to pronounce your name? I see Patrick, I see Shy Little Darling, Sweet Tea, Zara, good evening. Remember, all of you who are on Discord right now, if you would like to talk to me directly, go over to the YouTube live chat channel. But how are all of you this evening? I'm so glad you're here with me. Thank you so much for carving out a little time for us to be together tonight. All right, so Miss L's kitten and Graham, Mr. Growls, if there's any issues, let me know. All right. But for those of you who are watching live on YouTube tonight, good evening, good evening. You are joining me and my wonderful community here on Discord for episode 5 of Kinky Q&A. We do this twice a month together on Discord, and I really enjoy this time because I get to take your questions straight from YouTube, straight from Instagram, and here on Discord as well, and we talk about them. Yes.
People don't have access to the YouTube live chat channel.
Okay, why? I thought I gave you permissions.
We can open that channell? I didn't know.
That's what I thought I gave you permissions for.
I'm doing it now.
It's fine. I'll fix it. I just thought this is what I gave you permissions for, but that's fine. So give me just a moment, everyone. Okay, Fetish Fun should be in. Kinky Passion should be in. Dominant Discourse should be in. All right. We good? Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. For those of you who are watching live on YouTube, what just happened just now was I thought that I had given my 2 assistants permissions to set up the channel for everyone, and that did not happen. So we had a small little miscommunication there. It happens from time to time. It's going to be a fun evening for you, kitten, huh? So anyway, I'm so glad you all are here. Little Faye, Zara, Shy, Little Darling. All right. Good evening, good evening. Oh, squirmy already. Good. Love it. All right. So everyone should have access now. I apologize for that small miscommunication there. Feel free to type away to your heart's content. What does my cup say? She who must be obeyed. As just a friendly reminder to everyone tonight. It's pretty wonderful. I believe Barney gifted that to me. It is. It's wonderful, isn't it? So, everyone, now that you can finally talk to me, how are you? How has your week been, my wonderful kinky family? Hey, Dr. K. And yes, Zara, you need it. Mathos needs to buy it for you. Is that how I pronounce your name? Mathos? Mathos? I pronounced it correctly? Yes. Perfect. All right. So, I have to do a little bragging, children. Mathos. Got it. So, a little bragging because I have the best kitten in the world. I have the best submissive in the whole world. And I would like to prove it to you. Are you ready? So, for the last couple of weeks, I've been just maxed out. I've had so much going on, so much on my plate. I've been very, very stressed. Hey, hello, my friend, AX. How are you? So lots on my plate, lots of stressors, and it's been one of those times that it's just like I'm working and I'm working and I'm working and I'm working and I'm working, and then I realize, oh, we need groceries, things like that. And you're good? You came for me tonight? Well, good. Why else would you be here but to spend time in my presence? It's exactly what you tell your mistress. I came just for you. And you expect me to praise you for that? Like I would be impressed with that? Oh, no. And he's taking it and he's running with it. All right, no, miss, good. That's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum. I'm not going to thank you for the bare minimum. Of course you came to see me. It's been too long. You need a little bit of an attitude adjustment. Anyway, so with that being said, I have the best submissive ever. And she's very intuitive. She's an INFJ as well. And very intuitive. And today, she went above and beyond. And I would love to publicly dote on her and honor her and acknowledge all of her efforts, because dominance, it's going to make you up your training game, and submissives, it's probably going to make you feel a little bad and want to up your game. So that's what I'm hoping for here. She's amazing, she's wonderful, and she's coming to see me very soon, and I just might not let her go home. So here's what she did today. I received 3 deliveries just today. The first delivery, and I thought, this was a little much. Now, I'm not saying I don't enjoy this, but first delivery, I get this box with not 1, not 2, but pink champagne, which is my favorite. For those of you who have not seen An Affair to Remember, that's where my love for pink champagne blossomed and began in my life. The movie is a little bit older, and so you have these beautiful scenes where they're dressing up for dinner in these gorgeous gowns, and the women are drinking pink champagne, and it's wonderful. Anyway, so love the pink champagne. 4. That was my first delivery. And I'm going, my goodness. I mean, I love it. I'm not complaining, but my goodness. What else do I have to expect? So then halfway through the day today, ding dong, second delivery is this gorgeous gift basket. Can we take a look at this? Let's bust this open. I haven't even opened it yet. Let's see. Oh, yes. My claws have come to the rescue. All right, so what is in this gorgeous gift basket here? I mean, it's so pretty. I don't want to take it apart. We have Sicilian olives and Dijon mustard. And my lover just showed up. Everyone say hi to Mr. B. Everyone in the chat say hi to Mr. B. I know that you're on YouTube that you can't chat, but if you would like to chat, go over to patreon.com/AlexErotica, like it just popped up on the screen, and you can join us, and then you'll know exactly who Mr. B is. And everyone's saying hi, Mr. B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6, 7. They love you. They love you. Okay, so we got Dijon mustard. We've got Sicilian olives. We've got a beef summer sausage. Let's look in here. We've got, what is this? Sweet something whole. I don't know. And then looks like some olive oil, and what is it. Oh, some seasonings and some cheese and some organic dried apple crisps. Look how cute. And even this towel. Like, I'm loving this towel. Isn't it so cute? So fabulous little gift basket. Number 2, to go with all of the libations. How great is that? You know the adage, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach? They've been misquoting that. The way to your dominant's heart is through their stomach. Okay? Ladies need to eat too. Okay? So yes, second delivery today. Right? Third delivery today. Someone shows up with a bag of groceries. Isn't this wonderful? So, I just want to say, and the groceries have all sorts of delicious things for brunch tomorrow. It's wonderful. We've got fresh fruit and dip and brie and all these amazing things. So, I am saying all of this and totally shamelessly bragging on my girl right now because she is so good, such a good, intuitive, submissive. Very, very good. And so we were talking about Best Submissive Award goes to, it does. And so this is why, and yes, there's a point to this, not only to just make her feel seen and validated because you went above and beyond today. You touched my heart. You blessed me and Mr. B. You are wonderful and we love you very much. Now, I'm also saying this not only to make her feel good and special, because she should, but I'm saying this because we were talking about in the last couple lives, and I'm even going to do a follow-up video here on YouTube shortly about love languages and about how, and I even mentioned this in my punishment video that I did just a couple of weeks ago about non-physical punishments. And the point that I made in there is you have to know your submissive's incentives, because your submissive's incentives are the point that you can incentivize with rewards to train behavior. But if you know what incentivizes them, you also know how to punish. You remove whatever they enjoy. You remove whatever it is that speaks to them, that speaks in that love language. And so I know for her, one of her top love languages is words of affirmation, validation, praise, things like that. So incentivizing behavior is something that you do to continue to train your submissive after you win devotion. I'm going to talk about this, not this weekend, but next weekend on YouTube. But incentives. You train your submissive around incentives. Once you build that devotion, and building devotion is a process, and it's a very intense process, but the purpose of building devotion in the heart of your submissive is so that they will take the initiative to serve. And they'll just want to pour out. And that's what happens when you build and win devotion in the heart of your submissive. And then when you continue to incentivize them in the training process where they get what pleases them, they get their rewards, they get their incentives, they get the things that they like, but it's also just as powerful if they're not behaving well, if the training is not going well, to know their incentives, to know their love languages, so that you can remove those things for training purposes. So that's definitely not the case here. No one's going to be punished tonight, but it'll be a punishment, if anything, but not a punishment. So knowing love languages and how to incentivize is crucial in submissive training. So I just want to, again, stop and say thank you very much to my girl. Really wonderful, amazing job. So now that we have that checked off the list, We are making great strides in getting little ones' chores and protocols set up. We have a new planner for weekly chores, and we're going to type up and print out his rules and protocols. Wonderful. There's also a couple of apps that you can use. One of them is called Obedience, I believe. And you can do that through the app as well, where they get points and rewards and things like that. Well, you are so sweet. And I guess I want to ask you, Miss Elle's kitten, and I think this is a great point as we're discussing, what compels you to serve in this way? Everyone is so impressed, and they're going, Best Submissive Award goes to, and yay, and you're wonderful. And I believe I know the answer to this, but I would like you to share, if you feel comfortable, what drives you to go out of your way to do such wonderful, mindful things and such beautiful acts of service? I think that's coming from a submissive perspective, I would love for our chat to hear that tonight. Again, only if you feel comfortable, but it's a very valuable perspective. And she and I are going to be doing some more content together and sharing some different perspectives. So I really think it'll be valuable to you guys. So hang on tight. It'll be good. That is an excellent question. Motivation. What is the motivation? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's the thing. I need to know this answer as the dominant. You, fellow dominants, need to know this. If your submissive is just blowing it up and they're just really doing well and serving well, you need to dig into that a little bit. What are you doing as a dominant that's fueling them? What are they trying to express? What are they trying to convey? What's their motivation? So her answer is, I see how hard you work. I'm honored to see your process and where your heart and passion are. As your submissive, I see it as my responsibility to make things easier for you to continue what you do. It brings me peace and comfort to know that you are taken care of. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. See, she's the best, and she's all mine. Hands off. All right? So, absolutely. I mean, she has a point. I work really fucking hard. I work a lot. And that is what is so beautiful and compatible about our dynamic is she is a service sub. Okay, so she gets pleasure from being able to take things off of my plate. That's a big driving force for her. And what's great is my purview as a dominant is very much compatible with that. I do agree with her perspective. If I work that much, that hard to help others, to do whatever, I would like from my submissive to take things off of my plate. So we see the dynamic in a very similar way. And to that point, as the top here in this dynamic, one of my love languages is acts of service. I feel very cared for and very taken care of and loved when someone is serving the needs that they see that I have. And so from my perspective, from a dominant, and her perspective as a submissive, and both of our needs and both of our motivators, it's very, very compatible. Now that's just scratching the surface. There are a ton of other things that make this compatible and wonderful and work so well, but that's a big one. And that's why I keep coming back to, and this has come up a lot lately, it seems like, is the power of love languages, both the dominant and the submissive, knowing what you need and what your partner speaks and vice versa. Crucial thing is inspiration. So to that point, dominance, it's your responsibility to win that devotion. And I talk about that not this weekend, but next weekend in my new YouTube video. I talk about winning devotion, how you can properly train a submissive, and how you can win deep, deep devotion. And it's an ongoing process because, like you all are saying here, It's all about continuing to inspire your submissive. No one does anything that they don't want to do in some way, shape, or form. And here's what I mean by that. Even if you don't necessarily want to go to the gym and work out at 7 o'clock in the morning, what you want outweighs what you really want, what you want most, a healthy body, longevity, vitality, whatever, outweighs what you want right now. That's called discipline. So if I'm asking for something of my submissive that requires discipline, it's my responsibility to incentivize that area, because I know she's human, and I know that humans do not have perfect willpower. And if you are looking at your submissive like, well, they should always want to please me, they're not going to always feel like it. They may want to please you, but they'll get tired, they'll get fussy, they'll whatever, and it may not be a thing that they feel like doing in the moment. You dominants have to plan for that. You have to plan for, how am I going to continue to get what I want from my submissive when they don't feel like it? How can I continue to incentivize? How can I continue to motivate? How can I continue to inspire? And that's very organic to each submissive. You have to know what they like, not only in BDSM and sexually, but again, what they need emotionally, what they need mentally, what they need from the relational dynamic, all of that. It's data. And it's crucial data for you to have dominance. So anyway, now that we've thoroughly gone on a rant there, how long are we into this? How long have I been live here? "25 minutes. Perfect. Okay, that's a nice little warm-up. So let's jump into the questions that I have prepped today. Now, again, for those of you who are watching and chatting with me on Discord, at any time, if you have a question that you would like to throw out, feel free to do so. Your usernames are hidden and they're private on YouTube. So if you feel like you have something to say, a thought, a perspective, a question, your identity will be protected. Okay? So this is something that I'm going to talk in depth with my submissive about, and we're going to create some beautiful content around this for you. But we got talking about this the other day, and I really felt pushed to share it with you. She and I got talking about bratting versus playfulness. And I did a video not too long ago stating that point, how it's very important for you as the dominant to create a line and two separate words. So bratting could be a bad term where there's a punishment for, but playfulness could be a positive thing that there is a punishment for. And the line is determined by the dominant. The line of what's playful and when does it cross the line into bratting, or it's playful, when does it cross the line into topping from the bottom? It's playful, when does it cross the line to disrespect or to control? So we were talking about that, and we've mentioned that a little bit in a previous video. But what really came up for us in conversation the other night is there such thing as playful bratting. That's what I hate. I hate those two words together as an adjective. That's what I'm trying to state. Do not say that. Do not say playful bratting, because it's very confusing. It's very confusing. You need to use the word playful if it's positive or bratting if it's negative, okay? Because if it's playful bratting, then your brat will be playful one day and they won't get punished, and they'll be playful again another day and they will. And then there's confusion, all kinds of miscommunication. So that's why I'm saying, if you don't like bratting but you like playfulness, use those terms separately, okay? So with that in mind, and we're going to dig into it even deeper here, Zara. So you're going to really like, whew. And this is going to be a little, I'm running a risk throwing this out here, but I saw it and I'm standing by it. All right, we ready? We ready to go a little deep here tonight? Children, get it? Yeah, she knows where I'm going with this. She knows where I'm going with this. You ready? Okay. Here's the thing, and I will prove it to you, but I'm going to state my thesis first. All right. Here we go. The conclusion that I've arrived at in being a switch, I started on the BDSM lifestyle as a 24/7 submissive. I am a switch, but my switch point now is purely sexual. I'm a sexual bottom or I'm dominant as fuck. There's no in between. So, but before, started out as a submissive, so had experience there on that side of the switch. And I've worked with many submissives in a professional context, personal context, training dominance, etc. And the conclusion that I've come to is bratting, although it's been used as a common term in BDSM, and although brat has been commonly used as a label for a subtype, it's not. I believe, and the conclusion that I've reached is bratting is an expression of unmet needs. And playfulness in a DS dynamic is an expression of fulfilled needs. Okay? Now, brats, just hang on. Hang on with me, okay? Shy little darling. Yes, another INFJ is seeing the light. Okay, so yes, by the way, shy little darling, I'm an INFJ. My submissive is an INFJ, and I love that you're the first one that's like, yes, another INFJ. All right. So we're all jiving here. So for those of you who aren't INFJ females, let me break it down for you. So essentially, if you think about it, what does a brat do? A brat knows where the boundary is. A brat knows where the line is. And a brat goes, I see it, and I'm going to step over it. And I'm going to push. And even when I'm seeing that my dominant is like, oh, I don't want to deal with this right now, I push. Or when I'm seeing that, oh yeah, go to patreon.com/AlexErotica and join this lovely community. That little thing that just popped up there. So hot. Anyway, your little one is an INFJ. Yes, wonderful. So if you think about it, a brat knows where the line is. They knows where the boundary is. And they see that I poke and my dominant may be dismissive or whatever, or knock it off, and they still, I poke more. Or they see that their dominant's getting aggressive, and I poke more. They see that their dominant is like, okay, I'm really going to need to handle this, and I poke more. Why? Why are they doing this? They're doing this because they're looking for something they're not already getting. Think about it. They're looking for something they're not already getting. They're stepping out of line. They're misbehaving because they're not getting something. It's an unmet need. Okay? Let's parallel this with a submissive who's playful but does it in a respectful way. Isn't trying to dictate the scene, isn't trying to top from the bottom, is very respectful and mindful of their dominant's emotions, and they're being playful. And once they see that their dominant's like, it's okay, yeah, and I in my girls' terms, subby puddle again, okay? So it's a very different. One is I play with you because I'm getting what I need from you. And I want to play with you and I want to express myself. Playfulness is expression. And you can be playful without being disrespectful. You can be playful because now she's subby shuffling. And she does it all the time. And this is when I really started thinking about this. My submissive is very playful. There will be times where she'll kind of want to try to play a little bit, and I'm like in work mode, zoning out, and but then she'll like say these little things or do these little things, exactly like that, Mr. Growls, and no mud anymore. No mud. Real gif of Miss Elle's kitten. It's true. Oh, yes, you don't throw mud. She doesn't throw mud at me, ever. You, little Faye, that's between you and her. I've given her full permission to brat her ass off to anyone but me. And dominance, that might be a rule that you would like to employ in your own dynamic, too. If you have a playful one on your hands, brat your ass off to everyone else, honey, just not with me, okay? So that's fair. So anyway, circling back, this is what I realized is even when I'm like, work mode, whatever, she'll be cute, she'll be playful, and I'll see that that's something that she's like, hey, I want to connect with you. And that'll be a moment where I have to go. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes literally I cannot stop what I'm doing. But when I can, if I can, then I will get into that playful place with her. But it's never, if she like pokes in and she wants to be playful, whatever, and I shut it down and I'm like, I don't have time right now. I will talk to you tonight, whatever, but not right now. She is totally respectful and she's totally responsive. And I like to think she's respectful and responsive because her needs are being met. And she can yield in that moment and not brat because her needs are being met. Nods enthusiastically. Okay. How horrible would that be if I'm all, yeah, her needs are met, and she's like, well, actually, mama. Check yourself, dominance. This is why humility, dominance, is so, so important. It's so important. Is dominance, no matter how good you are, no matter how mindful you are, no matter how panned out you are, no matter how responsible, no matter how wise, you're human and you will be stupid sometimes. You will make mistakes sometimes. You will not be wise sometimes. You will not think everything through perfectly all the time. So humility is very, very important, dominance. Is it possible that bratting is a version of low-key anger, like wanting to push the dominant because they think dom is not dominant enough? Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Beautifully articulated. Yes. That's the point that I'm trying to make is if that submissive is looking for dominant engagement and dominant energy that they are not getting, it's an unmet need. But rather than communicating in a responsible way outside of that space and coming to your partner to partner, going, there is a need that I have that I don't feel like I'm getting. Let's talk about it. That's not happening. It's, I'm reverting to passive aggressive means to communicate what I want to communicate. I'm not going to be direct about it. I'm going to beat around the bush. I'm going to be a little passive aggressive. Absolutely. And I think what you're saying is absolutely right. If they are looking for guidance, care, intensity, play, that dominant energy, whatever, and they're just not, your dominant is not engaging with you, yes. Sometimes I brat. Sometimes it can be hard to know what is that's bothering you. So a cry for help, definitely. Or it can be hard to know how to respectfully approach my daddy about what is bothering me. You need to work on that. That's a great point. And I think I want to stop here and talk about that because you bring up something really, really important. Because we've seen that term brat as spectrum, playful, district, but it's interesting to see it from another perspective. Right, but that's the thing, Patrick. And typically that's how it's been laid out. That brat is a spectrum term of playfulness. But what I've been running into, like almost literally with almost every client that I'm coaching and training around dominance, they have run into this. If they have even a slight, even if they're submissive, even slightly playful, they have run into this where they will scold their submissive for being bratty or bratting, but in their submissive's mind, they're like, but I was just being playful, and I thought you liked that. And that's the problem with using brat or bratting as a spectrum term. It's too ambiguous. It's way too ambiguous. And it leaves so much room for miscommunication and confusion because you both, dominant and submissive, are looking at that term from a completely different angle, completely different perspective, completely different lens. That's why I said in that video, it's so important, dominants, to very clearly draw the line. Very clearly draw the line as this is behavior that I find enjoyable and playful. And this is behavior that I will shut the fuck down. You have to determine that line. So the solution for that would be more communication with brat or punishment, or maybe it would be better to overpower brat with mental strength. Here's the thing. I personally, and I'm just one dominant, every dynamic is different, every dominant is different. My methodology will not work perfectly in every dynamic, but what I personally would do is, talking to your points here, is if the brat was bratting and push to get something, I do not respond. But if the brat came to me outside of a kind of a play engagement, outside of a scene, and communicated what they were looking for, what makes them want to misbehave or brat or act out, and it was a conversation where they got really humble and really vulnerable, expressing an unmet need, that is when I would absolutely respond. Absolutely respond. They may not get it that day. Probably not. They probably won't get it in the next couple of days. But I will note it, and it will be something that I put on my radar. But if my submissive is just bop, 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 poke, and they see that I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? And they still push it, no, I'm walking away. I'm done. You're getting ignored because you are trying to manipulate my emotions at that point. You're now trying to manipulate my response at that point, and I disengage. And I think that, to me, is the most effective thing that you can do to a chronic brat, is disengage. When you are ready, and see, I'm not a brat tamer for this reason. I don't think bratting is healthy. I think bratting is an expression, chronic bratting, where the dominant feels pushed, disrespected, backed into a corner, and out of control. They should never feel like that. Now, if submissives, your dominant is just not being aggressive enough, intense enough, you're not having the type of play that really fulfills you and sinks you into subspace, you can absolutely have that conversation outside of a scene and outside of being bratty. I am curious, in relation to the brat and also to the early challenge thing that can happen, is there a point where it goes from one to the other? Can you clarify your question, Little Faye? I want to make sure I fully understand you. So does that make sense what I'm saying? Are you tracking with me? Do you feel like that's, I know it's very, it's a very uncommon perspective. Like how some submissives challenge dominant to see they are what they say they are. Okay, I see that. Okay, so I think Faye brings up a great point. Context is everything. And when you are getting to know a dominant, when you are testing at first, like Faye is saying, to see if they are who they say they are, to see if they know what they say they know, okay? I see that, I acknowledge it, and I do think to a certain degree it's necessary. You do need to test. Is there a respectful way to test? Yes. This fits with what I understand DS, which I'll admit is still very little, but you're learning my dominance. Can physical or emotional shut down from lack of getting... Can physical... Okay. Woo! I'm just going to go in order, okay? So first, little Faye, yes, there is a respectful way to test. And I think it's all about your heart and your motivation. And I think if you were to communicate that to your dominant, of going, hey, this is new. I'm still getting to know you. I still feel like I need to make sure that you're safe here. Do you feel disrespected when I ask this or when I do this or whatever? I think really a lot of these issues can be solved with just a little bit more communication. Truly. It sounds really like a no-brainer, but we really under-communicate. We really, really do. So I think you absolutely can communicate that. But to that point, I also think it confirms what you're saying, little Faye. I also think it confirms what we were saying earlier about bratting stemming from a deficit, stemming from unmet needs. And I see that in your question because, think about it, if you don't fully trust your dominant, you're going to test them. But if you trust your dominant fully, if you know your dominant, if you know their heart, if you know their track record, if you know that they are safe, you're not going to test. So I think that is another key is there's a test from another unmet need, from a deficit. It's fear. It's fear. If you, and see that's why lack of fear is so huge. Because that to me is the litmus test, dominance. You want to be able to make your submissive subby shuffle or subby puddle. You want to make them have those little butterflies or those little squirmies or what are they going to do? You want them to maybe feel a little nervous or a little scared, right? In a scene, in a playtime, whatever. You want to be able to maneuver some of that beautiful energy around. But in the back of their mind, they know 100,000% that nothing bad is going to happen to them, that they are fully safe. And so I think that too speaks to that. If you have to test your dominant, you don't trust your dominant. But I don't think that's a bad thing when you're first getting to know them. You do want to test people, right? I have been testing my submissive like nonstop. And I believe she's been doing the same to me. And what we've been doing is I'm putting myself out there and I'm going to test you. I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to test you. And it's this mutual, okay. We're building a track record. We're building a pattern of consistency. We're building a rapport. And I think that is the goal, and that's the key. When you're getting to know a dominant, it's not I'm testing you because I feel so powerless and I feel so unsafe. I feel like the dominant should be testing the submissive. Submissive should be testing the dominant. You're getting to know one another. You're building a rapport. Because patterns don't lie, but you need time for those patterns to develop. So I think there's a big difference between testing and building rapport. Do you see the difference? And I think you can build rapport without necessarily testing from a place of fear. Does that make sense? Good, it makes sense. Miss L's Kitten is saying that with me, she had to learn that her playfulness wasn't actually bratting. So that would be a great question that I would like you to answer for everyone. What caused you to learn that? What in our dynamic showed you that, or what did I do to show you that? And how did you come to that narrative in the first place? That playfulness and bratting was the same thing. Can you break that down for the class? So testing should be done for a vibrant relationship, but it should never go outside the respect line. I think that ideally, yes. But the thing is, we don't live in ideals. We live in the real world. And there's a lot of confusion and a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. And a lot of people have had trauma and really rough pasts. And so ideally, yes. But I think you also have to understand that you're going to possibly get a submissive with trust issues, or you're possibly going to get a dominant with trust issues. I'll own to that. I'll totally own to that. My girl, she's been wanting to because she was watching me forever on YouTube, and then she joined my community, and she got to know me and got to know my track record long before I got to know her and her track record. And I do struggle with trust. I mean, if you knew my story, you knew my past, it's been one thing after another. So I take my time, and I'm unapologetic about that. I'm very paced. I look for patterns. I take my time. I vet thoroughly. And I think you have to understand that sometimes you're going to get a dominant with some trust issues, a submissive with some trust issues, and there will be a sense of testing, but it's a sense of, I'm testing to make sure you're safe. And once I know that you're safe, the testing ceases. Does that make sense? Trust is magical when it's there and grows. Absolutely. I mean, that's the flow of intimacy. Safety, then trust, then vulnerability, then intimacy. The problem is, so many people want intimacy, and so many people equate sex to intimacy, so therefore so many people just want sex that they jump there, and then they completely neglect the safety, trust, and vulnerability. And then they wonder why they're so unfulfilled sexually. You skipped a few steps there, darling. All right. Playfulness. Oh, this is going to be a good answer. She says, playfulness oftentimes got you into trouble in your other DS relationships. Playfulness was seen as disobedience, even if I only intended to play and never be disrespectful. See, and this is the problem with using brat or bratting as a spectrum term. Look at that. Go patreon.com/AlexErotica. Oh, so hot, so beautiful. So she's saying, intended to play and never be disrespectful, which made me feel like I had to be invisible and obedient, and it made me feel like the only way to get attention was to act out. Unmet needs. What is she communicating here? In the past, the narrative set by other DS relationships is, if you are playful, you are bratting, and therefore the playfulness was shut down. She no longer could take up that space. Unmet needs. I can't communicate. I can't express myself. Unmet needs. And then what do? We brat because we're not taking up enough space. That's where resentment stems from. That's where bitterness. If you feel bitter, if you feel like really resentful in your relationship, start looking at how much are you communicating? How much space are you taking up? Are you setting boundaries? Are you speaking up for yourself? Are you telling the people around you that, hey, that's not cool. You don't get to speak to me like that. You don't get to talk to me like that. You don't get to, engage with me that way. Are you taking up enough space? And what she just described is exactly the point that we've been driving home this whole time is bratting stems from unmet needs. And what she was saying that is the unmet need that came up is a lack of space, a lack of expression. I love that. I mean, I'm sorry that it happened, but I love how this is all coming together. So I have not ever felt the need to do that with Mama. So when I started to get to know Mama, I learned that my respectful play was welcome. Intentions are everything. And if there is ever confusion, it is so easy for me to be humble and just say it wasn't my intention to be disrespectful and adjust. Absolutely. And I, at that point, if and when that happens, I trust her. And that's the thing. I talk to so many dominants that don't actually trust their submissives. Can we talk about that for a minute? Because you need to be able to trust your submissive. It is not just the submissive that needs to fully trust their dominant. The dominant has to be able to trust their submissive too, because stuff like that will come up. And at that moment, it's now in my court. It's my court for me to go, do I trust her? Do I trust that her intention was pure and good and this was just a miscommunication? And I just extend grace here? Do I trust that? Can I trust that? Because if you can't, then you're going to go, okay, my submissive said they weren't intending to be disrespectful, but can I believe that? And then your whole strategy is going to get very confusing. Lack of trust is a killer. Absolute killer. And you can feel that if they don't trust you. Yes, and dominant, that is bad at communication, and selfish can cause submissive to become more violent or brat. So good, yes. A dominant that does not communicate or is a poor communicator or is selfish can cause a submissive to become more violent, act out, brat. Exactly, because what are we saying? Bratting stems from unmet needs. Bratting stems from a deficit. But when people are playful, when people are just happy and giddy and playful and pouncy and enjoying themselves, right? That's when they feel safe. That's when they feel free. And there's no disrespect in that. But the disrespect point happens when you start seeing that the dominant is not enjoying this. This is not playful for the dominant anymore. And then you keep going. And then the worst thing is when the dominant calls you out for bratting your ass off, and then you're like, huh? I don't understand. Can you explain it to me? It's ridiculous. And it's proof that it's just a game. It's just a total manipulative game. Brats are usually going after something specific versus real submission. That's what I think. That's what I believe is you can have, and I think these terms, I think a service top and a dominant, those terms don't get intermingled, they don't get confused, but I think the actions do. And I think what Miss Elle's kitten is saying right now is totally speaking to that. You can't, for instance, I'm the perfect example. I am not a submissive. I'm a dominant switch, okay? But I'm not a submissive. My switch is a sexual bottom. That's it. So I have dominant, and I have that dominant space. It can be sexual for me, but again, you can have submissive arousal, you can have dominant arousal, and then you can have sexual arousal, and they don't have to go together. So I have my dominant space and my dominant energy that I normally operate in, but when I switch, I don't like being dominant sexually. I'm tired. I want that sexy man out there to throw me over his shoulder and manhandle me, right? So my switch point is not submissive. It's a sexual bottom. But I think a lot of people use submissive for sexual bottom and sexual bottom for submissive. And they're not the same thing. So I think what Miss Elle's kitten is saying is very much indicative of sexual bottoms or submissives who just want subspace. They're seeking subspace. They're seeking the release. They're seeking getting out of their head. They're seeking impact play. They're seeking whatever. They're seeking something specific. They're seeking an experience versus seeking investment. I think that's what she was trying to say. You can seek an experience from someone, what you can give to me, or you can seek to invest in someone. Here's what I can offer you. All right. Cute sub voice. Well, I'm glad you liked my sub voice. I do the opposite. I don't brat. I withdraw when I'm made to feel like I'm in the way or not trusted. Right. And some subtypes will do that too. You said one time that sub and brat are past the point of submission and are looking for subspace to fill their needs. I truly believe that. You can seek an experience. You can have a submissive that's so desperate for subspace, they're just like, I just need a dominant because I can't get myself into subspace. Okay, technically, maybe you could be a submissive, but at that point, you're really, in my eyes, a sexual bottom. You're looking for a top to give you an experience you cannot give yourself. Can physical or emotional? Oh, I need to go back. Whew. I told you guys I would go in order, and then we got on a rabbit trail here. Okay, so let me go back. I think I went back too far. Wait, did I? I went back too far. Okay. Where was I? Oh, there we go. Okay. Can physical or emotional shutdown from lack of getting what they want be considered a form of bratting? Yes. And I actually talk about that in my video that I'm releasing on Sunday. Sunday's new YouTube video is 13 traits of toxic subtypes. Oh, so yes, Zara, to answer your question, yes, withdrawing, ghosting, emotional shutdown, when the submissive does not get what they want, can absolutely be a form of bratting. But in this case, it's passive aggressive. Just think of it that way. It's just passive aggressive and it's manipulative. Okay? So I replied to it, let's not tick any of those boxes. Yes. And thank you for reminding me, little Faye. So yes, Zara, I very much believe that. And so I have 12 other points in my YouTube video on Sunday with those 13 traits of toxic subtypes. But that's one of the traits that I talk about, is if the submissive uses those tactics that you laid out, emotional shutdown, ghosting, withdrawing, things like that. Yes. That's a control move. They didn't get what they want, and so they're going to try this so that you will adjust your behavior, your stance, your decision, whatever. Yes. Okay, let me scroll back up. Okay, Patrick. I did not forget about you, Patrick. See your point, being playful is one thing, but pushing a dominant to do something is a manipulative action. A sub should talk about it and not just take it on themselves to push. Well said, Patrick. Very, very well said. Okay. I think that is a good example of what someone said earlier about going from one to another. Yes. Yes, Mathos. Okay. I think I got caught up. Okay, I think I got caught up. All right. What time do I have? What time do I have, Miss Alice Kitten? Or how long have I been going? Whatever. We have about 20 minutes left. So I've been going for about 40 minutes now. Okay. Well, I think we're doing pretty good on time. So, does anyone, before I just scurry on to the next one, does anyone else have any questions about this? Thoughts, perspectives, anything they'd like to share? Do 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 do. You think it's good to know that it can be a brat thing? Excited for the next question? Okay, here we go. Now this one came in from YouTube a few weeks ago. And this one stuck with me so much, especially because my punishment video is just blowing up, doing so well. So many of you have just given me so much great feedback about that video. And this one is so related. Here's the question. My submissive stepped out, and I don't think I've done this. I don't think I've done this one yet. But if I start reading the question and it's vaguely familiar, feel free to chime in and say, Miss Elle, you've already done this. All right? I don't think I have, but here we go. My submissive stepped way out of line yesterday, So to punish her, I decided to ignore her for several hours because physical punishment won't work as she loves being spanked, whipped, etc. Okay, so let's stop there. Great job, dominant. Our dominant here has identified their submissive's pain point. It sounds like we have a little bit of a masochist on our hands, and they realize that any sort of physical pain is not a punishment, but a what, class? Anyone? Anyone? There we go. Good job. Good job. So, good job to our dominant here. So punishment, physical punishment route won't work as she loves being spanked, whipped, etc. So I went down the emotional route. After about 3 hours of ignoring her, she came to me crying and pleading on her hands and knees, saying she is sorry, but I was still extremely angry. So I continued to ignore her for a further 4 hours. Oh, she all fucked up over there. At this point, she felt neglected and that I didn't care about her anymore. Do you think I took her punishment? For those of you who are watching on YouTube, my chat is just like blowing it up with like, oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, that's funny. The GIFs don't show up for you guys on YouTube, but oh, they're funny. Okay. At this point, she felt neglected and that I didn't care about her anymore. Do you think I took her punishment too far? I never want my sub to feel neglected. Okay. Little Faye is saying, I don't think it's that bad. Not reacting out of anger is great. Definitely a proportionate response. Sub is overreacting. Okay, so we've got some mixed signals on this one. Okay. You think punishment was okay? Okay. I'm just waiting. They're typing away. I mean, I don't know what the thing that caused it was, right? And that's very important to know. Was it communicated that this was the punishment? He didn't say that. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here because he does know the line between punishment and punishment. It seems that we have that level of intuition and understanding. So we can say that he communicated that it was a punishment. Oh, but my peeps are blowing up the chat right now. So ignored for 7 hours. I'm curious what she did a little. I'm curious what she did. I'm more than a little curious as to what this child did. If the sub felt unimportant, then I'd say yes, but that could be a realignment talk. Look at these. I have the best, most brilliant, grounded, wonderful people in this community. The best group of kinksters ever. Your little one being ignored for even an hour would crush him. I can't imagine 7. I know my views on things may be slightly skewed. I think if it did its job, she won't be doing that again. Okay. Mental punishments can be hard, but are also effective at the same time. Okay. So, great feedback from my community. Great feedback. Would you like my perspective on this? I don't have to. I'll just let you all go. I'll just let you all go. All right. I think that all of you are partially right. I didn't hear anything that I disagreed with, but I think that we can fill it out a little bit better. So I think that where I'm landing here is the final line, okay? because the dominant expressed his own line. The dominant expressed his own boundary for punishment. Okay? And based off of the dominant's own boundary for punishment, the dominant overstepped. Okay? So, but that's even that, Mr. Growls. And I'll show you why that is technically irrelevant in this answer. You all are curious. You all are salivating and wanting to know what this poor little creature did, but it's actually irrelevant to the answer. Okay? So the dominant broke their own rules, wipes drool off of own face. Why are you drooling, baby girl? Wipes drool off of own face. Do you have something in your mouth right now? Curiosity kills kittens. Okay, so the dominant, here's what the dominant said. I know you all want to know what this child did to get what she got, but it's irrelevant to the answer. Shy Little Darling says, I think things should be done on the dominant's time. However, I think there's always a line. I feel like he could have crossed hers. I would be destroyed by that. Okay, I think Shy Little Darling is already picking up on the path that I'm walking down. Here's what the dominant said in the last line. Do you think, this is the question, do you think I took her punishment too far? I never want my sub to feel neglected. I never want my sub to feel neglected. That is what he said. That is my goal in punishment. I want to punish, but I do not want her to feel neglected. That is what he stated. Okay? Then he says earlier in the message, at this point, after he ignored her for 4 more hours, at this point, she felt neglected and like I didn't care about her anymore. That, feeling neglected and like your dominant doesn't care about you, that is not punishment. That is abandonment. And abandonment is not punishment. You do not ever use that as punishment. Abandonment is abandonment. Abandonment is abuse. Abandonment is wrong. He was trying to administer a punishment. It was interpreted as neglect, as I'm not cared about anymore. Okay? So I think the answer is, did he cross a line? Based off of his own definition and his own goal for punishment, yes, he did. He crossed a line. Okay? After the first 3 hours, he should have explained that he was still upset and expressed her that he needed more time. And that's also painful. Abandonment is not punishment. Repeats to self to not forget. Yes. Okay. So, I'm kind of with Zara on this. Trust issue, right? So I'm kind of with Zara on this. Go to patreon.com/LXerotica if you want to join this amazing chat next time. We do these lives twice a month, and we have actually every Friday we have a community event. They're awesome. They're hilarious. They're a lot of fun. And 2 of those Friday nights, just like tonight, we do a live Q&A for those of you who are watching on YouTube and you would like to join us next time. This is the best family of kinksters that you will find. Anyway, so 10 minutes. Okay. Today's was that abandonment isn't punishment. Abandonment is a tool used by abusers when they are not getting all of their selfish needs met. Okay? That is not a healthy, responsible punishment. So, did he cross a line? Yes. However, the other side to this is I also do not, as the dominant, if my submissive steps out of line to the point where I have to not talk to her, where I don't even want to talk to her for 3 hours, I don't even want to talk to her all day. that is also, like you guys were saying, don't punish out of anger. And if whatever she did created that much within the dominant needs the time to come down. I think it could have been handled a couple of different ways. After the 3-hour timeline, I think Zara is absolutely right. I think that if the submissive came to him on her hands and knees, crying, saying, I'm so sorry, begging for forgiveness, I would still be mad, but my heart would move. My heart would move because I would see there's genuine remorse at that time. And I don't want her to feel neglected or that I don't care. So at that point, I'm still angry and I do need time to process. But I'm seeing remorse. And that's what I want to see. So at that time, a conversation could happen of, I see that you're sorry. And I am glad that you're sorry. I'm not ready to engage with you yet. So I would like you to go and occupy yourself for the rest of the evening. When I am capable of speaking with you in a calm way, again, we will talk about this. I think that is perfectly fine. Absolutely perfectly fine. I also think that if at that time the dominant did soften a little bit, and you see, okay, I was really mad, and then I see the genuine brokenness and the remorse here, and you do shift and you do soften, but you're like, okay, I'm not going to ignore. I don't want them to feel neglected. That would be a point that you could also maybe bring them into your space, but not engage with them directly. You're still kind of administering the punishment, but you're slowly beckoning them back in. That could also have been a great technique to use as well. So I think, yes, it was not handled correctly, but I think that both sides have a point to it. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any other perspectives, comments they would like to add? Good. Okay. Completely logical for you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. As a sub who is afraid of being abandoned, I could totally respect that approach. And to that point, I also know my submissive does have those triggers. So I think you also have to be very wise, dominants. You have to know your submissive's triggers. Because even though if they would be totally trigger-free and you do that punishment and it would be very effective, if your submissive has triggers and you punish in the same way, it could be devastating. Absolutely devastating. And everything that you're trying to accomplish in the punishment could totally backfire. Your submissive no longer trusts you, no longer feels safe with you. They feel terrified. They shut down because they don't want to speak. They don't want to overstep. It could do something like that. So you have to be very, very wise, dominants. And that's something that I need. See, and this is something here too. My submissive, I know one of her love languages, not only does she have abandonment triggers, but one of her love languages, the top love language that she has, is quality time. So that's something that is a huge reward and an incentive for her, is just to talk to me, to be in my presence, to spend time with me, allowing her to ask me questions, allowing her to get to know me, being together, playing together, engaging together. That's all a big reward. It's all a big incentive. So I know that ignoring is not going to be my go-to punishment with her. Ever. Ever. It would be very, very effective, but I'm saving that one for like, woo, something really bad happened, right? Because I don't feel like I need to go there. And when I do need space, because her love language is quality time, but at the same time, I need a lot of alone time as an INFJ, as an introvert, and as an Enneagram 8 leader, I'm just like, go, 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 go. I need time by myself so I can be creative again, so I can have that dominant energy again. And there are times where, and then this kind of was, a few months ago, but I was kind of going, how do I take space without her freaking the fuck out? And it all comes down to communication. Just like we're talking about in this punishment scenario, there was a weekend where I was like, you have done nothing wrong. And I went out of my way to say, I love you. I care about you. Everything is fine. I am not mad at you. And I am not doing this as a punishment. I am just so drained that I have nothing left to give anyone right now. And that's not fair to you. I need to recharge. So I'm going to be taking space this weekend. I want you to do your rituals, and I will be checking in with them. And I'll check back in with you on Monday morning. But this weekend, there's not going to be any contact. Okay? And everything was perfectly fine. It was actually a really great weekend for her and for me. And then on Monday, I was feeling full and ready to go again, and we jumped back into it. And I think the same thing can be applied in this scenario. Communicate. Just simply communicate. Be mindful about where you are as a dominant. Be mindful about your submissive's emotional state, their triggers, and don't be afraid to communicate. Like I said, I think we really under-communicate, especially in this lifestyle. Vanillas don't communicate very well, right? So if we've been trained by vanillas, a lot of us really under-communicate when we think we're adequately communicating. All right, so this is why I like Domina. I can always learn new things and understood BDSM on new levels. Aw, you are welcome, my dear. So glad you're here. So let's see. Honestly, don't think anyone, dom or sub, is without triggers. There's always going to be something that will push our buttons. Absolutely. And that's why being humble is very important as a dominant. Humble does not mean you are weak or you're voiceless or you're without power. Humility means you know where your power is and you're not going to be shamed into silence. You're not going to be out of control. You can be triggered and you can be humble about, okay, I got triggered here. But if you're humble and you have self-control, you can handle it. But yes, 100% Graham. No one is without triggers. Little Faye, is shutting down because of something like that similar to bratting? Or is that when it becomes something else entirely? Little Faye, is shutting down because of something like that? Something like what? The punishment? Are you asking about the submissive? If the submissive shuts down because of that punishment? Again, I just want to make sure I understand you fully. Okay, great. I'm glad that I was able to intuit what you were saying. I think that's something else entirely. I do. But like I said before when we were talking about this, emotional shutdown is a passive-aggressive way to say something's not right. There's a problem. There's an unmet need, right? And so I think this is more of the extreme of that. When you don't feel like you have the space to be heard, you'll shut down. When you feel like, hey, are you even listening to me? What does my voice even matter? My perspectives even matter? Or no, you're just constantly minimizing me, you're gaslighting me, you're manipulating me, all of these things. When people no longer feel like their voice matters, they shut down. They absolutely shut down. And I think it can be a passive-aggressive manipulation. Like, oh, fine, I'm not going to talk to you now. It can be that. But I think it can also be an abuse response where if that happens to you for so long, so chronically, you genuinely start to believe that your voice does not matter. You're not going to be heard anyway. You're going to be ignored. You're going to be minimized. You're going to be gaslighted, all of these things. And so you just stop trying. And it's this deep sense of defeat and victimization. And so, yeah, I think it can be a passive-aggressive means of manipulation. But I think it can also be the result of extended psychological abuse. Yeah. Either way, it's not good. Either way, it is not good. All right, what's my time, Miss L's kitten? This is it. This is it. I just wanted to let you finish. This is it. This is it. As in, ding, 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 time is up. We're at time. Well, I mean, I usually start it off with a little chat time. Are we at 60 minutes exactly? Okay. Well, we will let my chat decide. Would we all like to start saying our goodbyes from the end of the doting? Oh, it's been an hour from the end of my doting? Oh, even better. Okay. So, and we had like 25 minutes of doting. Okay, this has been a good stream then. I don't think I'm going to give you all the opportunity to ask me one more question. I was going to be nice. I've decided against it. I doted enough. I'm done doting for the evening. All right, so I will, though, open it up one final time to my entire beautiful community here on Discord who've been chatting with me. And we have had some wonderful conversations tonight, everyone. Thank you all so much for your input. Do you have any final thoughts, feelings, insights, questions, perspectives, anything that you would like to share with me before we start winding down and saying our goodbyes? So long, farewell. Tips on including impact play into sexual scenes. Tips on including impact play into sexual scenes. I think that's a pretty easy bridge there, Zara. I would like to know a little bit of context as to what kind of sexual scene and what kind of impact play and what you're currently doing to lead in. If this is new, how much experience, all of that. My answer will vary based off of all of those things. Maybe this is something that would be better discussed in our next chat. Answer another question then. Agreed. Okay. Like, well, there's a lot of variables there. Yay for dominant coaching. Yay. Mathos. You're so cute. He's like, ooh, mom is asking questions about impact play. Yes, my dominant discourse coaching, totally sold out. What I have learned a lot, I've learned tonight, bratting is a call for help from the sub. So good. Well, I'm glad that we talked about this tonight. And hey, my butterfly raven is here. Good evening. Good evening. Dominant coaching from Miss Elle is amazing. Aw, I love my girls so much. I work with both male doms and female doms. I train both male doms and female doms. If you are interested in working with me one-on-one, go over to patreon.com/LXerotica and look at Training the Spank Fairies is a calling. Training the Spank Fairies is a calling. Yes. You can join my dominant discourse tier. Right now, it is totally sold out. But I would highly recommend that you at least join the $15 tier, Fetish Fun, because you get access to this twice a month. So if you don't want to work with me one-on-one every month consistently, but you still have some questions, you still want to engage with this wonderful community and get some great advice, this is a great opportunity for you. Like I said, we do this twice a month here on Discord, and you can get access through Patreon. Butterfly, how are you? You beautiful, sexy, powerful mama. Zara joined at the $30 tier until a spot opened up, and then she jumped on it. And just FYI, if you are a patron and a spot opens up for the dominant coaching, you get first dibs. So it pays to be a patron. Absolutely. Not only that, you get to hang out with all of these amazing people every day. And they're so funny and so amazing. We have such great conversations on this Discord. I love it. You have mentioned it to your daddy, the dominant training. Hopefully he will jump on it soon. Ooh, that would be so much fun to work with your daddy. You can thank me later, shy little darling. Yay, you get dibs. That's awesome. You're well. I'm so glad I get to see you, Butterfly. Have you been busy? Kicking ass, taking over the world? Raising an amazing, amazing son? We're so proud of baby Butterfly. Shy little darlings. Yeah, get dibs. That's awesome. Well, that's what... I hooked your mama up with those dibs, Mathos. And she's a lot of fun. You're in for it, little one. You knows. Aww. I love that you're all cute and in little space right now. That is so cute. Can't even stand it. All right, so subby shuffle. Why are you subby shuffling? Yes, it's been exhausting, but we're at the finish line. Official word on Monday. Whoop, whoop. Wish you could hear his cute little giggles. Do a little video. Post it in selfies. It's a rule here on the server that if I make you blush, I get a blushing selfie from you posted in the selfie channel. This could be your rule. Anytime he giggles all cute, we get to hear it. We get a little video. Because my mama is amazing. Aww. Well, you know what? I tend to think the same thing about you, my dear. All right, finish line. About to cross it. Good, good, good. Well, keep me posted. Let me know. Text me sometime, woman. Yay! I get butterfly texts again. I know you've been busy. I'm not trying to be shitty. I'm not trying to get on your case. I love you. Okay, does mama get to go enjoy her wine now? Look at her being all protective over my time tonight. Oh, she's got those little baby kitten claws out right now. She's got those little baby kitten claws out. Why can't Goddess have wine on stream? Because Goddess needs to be alert and focused and give wise and grounded advice. And when Goddess drinks wine, Goddess hacks into Mr. B's Twitter account and tweets for him. I get pranky when I drink. I don't know what to Drunk Q&A. No. No one wants that. No one wants that. But what I might do for you one night, I will bite everyone. What I might do for you one night is I might allow you all to enjoy a drunk 50 Shades of Grey movie reaction with me. I mean, would that be a good alternative? I thought that was just for you. Well, you were like the what do they call it? You were like the screen test. It's not test drive. Come on. What are we trying to convey? Now that would be utterly epic. All the cursing will be hilarious. How much did I cuss the other night because we did this? We did. Miss Elle's kitten and I decided guinea pigs, plenty of cussing. Miss Elle's kitten and Mr. B and I decided to have some fun one night, and she can't drink, which is wonderful. She, not by my rules, she just doesn't. It makes her feel bad, and so I'm like, I have a DD for life. Woo! Anyway, so we decided to rent all 3 50 Shades movies and get drunk and just eviscerate them. And it was amazing. Great fun until Mr. B fell asleep during the 3rd movie and I hacked into his Twitter account. If you guys would like to know what I typed on his Twitter account, you can go follow him at BMURRZ. Must hear the eviscerations. Laughed my face off. I think she was laughing more at like how pranky I get when I drink. Yes, it was fun eviscerating it, but then poor Mr. B fell asleep and I took matters into my own hands. It was a great time. It was just one. I only did it once, and the next morning I was like, so, did you check your Twitter, lady? It's playfulness, not bratting. Oh, it was good. Jinx, clean my kitchen. See, that's the thing. I know I have a water sign on my hands. So, I mean, I have a lot of room to play. Oh, Mr. Growls. I think we need to have this happen. So, that's another reason for those of you who are watching on YouTube. That's another incentive for you to join this amazing community because apparently it's going to happen. Drunken movie night with me. We eviscerate 50 Shades of Grey. Let's do it. Goddess is very happy tonight. You know, I feel like this has been a great live. I feel like I have reason to be happy. Plus, we're having little movies tomorrow night. Oh, nice. And Mr. Growls streams for the littles in this community pretty much anytime by request when they go, Mr. Growls, can we please have a movie night? And he totally does it. So, sings to Cinderella as makes Mama's Kitchen sparkle. Please start with the microwave. Something exploded in there. And I don't have the proper hazmat gear. Amazing impersonation. Watch, her next line is, I feel attacked. Did I call it? Snaps on gloves. Cleaning time, yay. Uh-oh, you're going to get bitten later. That's okay. I gave her permission to bite and brat anyone she wants but me. Sharpens teeth. Oh my gosh. Isn't that painful? What are you sharpening them on? I know. Okay, I'm with you. How do you sharpen? I think we all are curious to know. Still need your scratching post. You have a scratching post and 2 cat trees here waiting for you. And a kitten bed. I still need my scratching post. You will have a scratching post. Yikes. What are we yikesing about? Are you making those little kitten noises like when cats chew on a stick? Probably, yes. It often happens during movie nights with me and Mr. B that she'll just randomly, like, all right, she's in a good mood. We're happy. It sounds almost exactly like that, too. She does that when we chat, too. Oh, Mr. Grouse, you're in the inner circle. You're in the inner circle. It's catnip. Oh, she's so fussy and cute. If she flutters, little kitten flutters, it means you're in the inner circle. She feels safe enough to flutter. So you've made it, Mr. Growls. You've absolutely made it. Kitten on catnip is amazing, hilarious, and so cute. Yes. And 0 attention span. 0 attention span. Mama! Anyway, poor YouTube. Now we're just having more family time to wrap it up, and poor YouTube's like, what the fuck is going on over there? YouTube, sorry if you're lost and confused. They will watch and want to join. All right. Well, my peeps are saying that you're not confused. We're incentivizing you to come join the Kinky Waltons, which is what we call ourselves here on Discord, because unlike good night, Emma Lou, good night, John Boy, good night, Sue Ann, good night, whatever, it's good morning, and it's like, good morning, fam. And it's just all of this love every single morning. Everyone says good morning to each other. Everyone checks in with each other. So we're the Kinky Waltons, essentially. If you would like to join us, go over to patreon.com/LXerotica. Come join the party, YouTube, and subscribe on Patreon. It's 4 a.m. for some of us. Wow, you know what? We are an international family, and we're very, very committed to each other. Also, I have dancing squirrels on my screen right now. They're blowing it up with odd gifts. That one's cute. Graham just threw in a dancing squirrel, though. All right. I feel like maybe that's how Graham dances. Are we getting a taste? Non-consensual? Non-consensual? Everything is consensual here. What are you saying? That bear is? Oh, the bears. Oh, squirrel moment. Gotcha. Is just pretending not to like. Well, on that note, little Faye, thanks so much. Ooh, there you go. That link right there. Fall down. Ooh, so hot. So hot. Anyway. Yes. Yes. Zara, thank you so much for the clarification. Now everyone's getting squirrely, man. I think Miss L's kitten is passing around the catnip right now. That is funny every time I do that. Well, you know what? I haven't gotten burned so far, so I think I'm doing well. Catnip treats for all! Yes. All right, so. Are these not the best people? Oh, my goodness. Plants to light couches on fire. We're now pyros now, little baby pyro. Okay. All right. Yay. Butterfly joining. Little Faye. I know. Wait, what? Animations are fun. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. She wants to light the couch on fire back here. Just randomly. I think she's going to do it randomly So I'm like in a really intense coaching moment here on one of the lives. And then a chair back here is just going to bust into flames. Whenever she makes a good point. My furniture? You don't know me. I do, though. We just have to get more people to read Goddess's books, then they will burn their neighbor's house down. That's right. That's right. And I'm working on a pretty big project, little Faye. More stories, perhaps? Many, 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 many more stories. How about the biggest pack of stories? Ooh. Wow, butterfly. That is very intense. I hope you are getting rest. Rest? What is that? No, I'm in a constant state of delirium. Just where I am. Oh, can I please burn down my neighbor's house? Please, please, please. I actually do have some books. I'll send you some. Whoever in my Discord right now would like a book, DM me. I'll mail you a book. I've got extras. When you read the stories, keep your thermal pants on. So hot, your butt will ignite. And Mr. Growls has even recorded a story with me before, too. So, no, Q's memory from Sims. Oh, yeah, and we've got Sadistic Sims next Friday. For those of you who do not know, for those of you who are watching on YouTube and you're going, what is Sadistic Sims? That sounds amazing. Let me tell you what Sadistic Sims is. Once a month, I, with my community, go on to The Sims, the game that I have, and I build anyone in my community that would like their own avatar, and we play with each other. And we have all of these really smexy animations and some BDSM furniture that we play with and all kinds of stuff. Last time, we made Matt a human toilet in The Sims, and it was awesome. Oh, yeah, and Mr. Growls died last time. We all went to the dungeon for some kinky fun, and when we returned home, Graham's Sim was in an urn on the porch. It was sad, but the good news is this was already a haunted house lot, so now Mr. Growls is just the ghost that haunts the lot. So he didn't go anywhere. And welcome home, I'm dead. And we can bring him back. Mr. Growls lives on. And that's why I save you all to the gallery. Because if that happens, I can just re-download you. See, look at what a good dominant I am. I give all of my patrons the gift of immortality. No other community is offering that, are they? No. You mean there could be two of me? Ta-da! Yay, saved in a box. Yes, there could be two of you. And the whole game will just combust. So anyway, that's next Friday. We do that once. Why are you calming down? What happened? Why are you calming down? Feisty? Okay. Maybe you take your catnip and you put it aside right now. The world will be mine! Yes. Well, Mr. Growls, the first time he almost died. Did you die the first time? We got him a job in The Sims as an astronaut, and he went to space, and he collected space dust, and he opened the space dust, and apparently it was poisonous. And he got very, very sick, and he almost died, but he did not. He opened alien things. Yes, that's right. So, if you are ready, and it's totally not safe for work, that's why we cannot broadcast it anywhere. All platforms would be like, no. Well, not all platforms. But anyway, that's why we do it all in the privacy of our Discord home. Do 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 do. So that's next Friday. So we have an event every single Friday as a community. Every Friday. You got peeps to hang out with. It's very not safe for work. But it's very amazing. Oh no, definitely not safe. Naughty, kinky, sadistic Sims. Yay, can't wait. Yes, and we're playing with a new person tomorrow. I have Sega Saturn. She asked to be built for next time around. So, oh, and yes, I built Rolf from Bonding because he just tickled me so much. And I put him in my game in The Sims. He should have been at home cleaning my house. We all go to the dungeon to play. He's already there. Fucking slave. Rolf! He was, having a drink. Just chilling. Well, you're at home cleaning like a good girl. Shy little darling, if you would like me to create your sim, send me photos. Miss Elle's kitten or someone else who's been here can fill you in on the details. DM me, and I'll put you in the game. If anyone else here would like to be in the game and we can play with you, we can put you and your partner in the game. So we can play with you and your partner together. All right? And even if, shy little darling, I can build your daddy as well. But you're going to have to send me his picture. And if he's not okay with that, I obviously don't want you doing that. But that is an option. For any of you who feel comfortable with that, I can put you and your partner in the game. So you can play together in the game. Or be like, no, I want to live in Fantasyland without my partner in Sadistic Sims. We can do that too. All right. So that's going down next Friday at 6 p.m. Talk to him about that. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So wrapping it up now. Finally, we've had a lot of good family time tonight. I have enjoyed this so much. Have all of you enjoyed yourselves tonight? YouTube, I know you can't chat with me, but I have loved that you decided to join us all tonight, and I hope that you come on over and join us so you can talk to us next time. Best ever? Yes? Good. I'm so glad that you all have had just as much fun as I've had tonight. Mucho giggles from Mistress. Yes, see, I don't always have to be scary, right? And see, that's the thing. On one hand, I'll hear feedback from people. You're just so nice. You're like too nice to be a dominant. And then those that really know me are like, you're really scary. That was really intense. Can you lighten up a little bit? Pick a lane, people. Pick a lane. Scary? What is scary? Can you see Jamie Cakes? You don't think I'm scary? Just Lady Wolf. A little bit, huh? Oh, and yes, I would love to show you Jamie. Let me get him in here. Jamie Cakes, hi baby. Hi. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna grab my kid. Come here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is my baby thing. Okay. Want to say hi? Okay. This is my baby. Look at the camera. Go over here. Hi. Everyone say hi to Jamie Cakes. This is my little prince. Stop it. Stop it. Thank you. Hi. Everyone just wants to say hi to you. That's it. Stop. Stop. That look after you scolded him. All my pets are very well trained. No, get down. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, he is my sweet thing. He's very, very, very well trained, very well behaved. And actually, we're going to do a little video, me and Miss Elle's kitten and Jamie. You putting the pieces together, chat? It's going to be so good. Anyway. Looking forward to that very, very much. Yes. So, on that note, on the Jamie note, stealing Jamie's collar. Oh, no. No. We're going to go to the pet store. And we're going to pick out her kitten collar and get the custom nameplate tag. And we're going to pick her out some food and water dishes. Absolutely. No, she gets her own. Flea collar just in case. Oh! Oh, Mr. Grouse is feeling feisty. I will bite you. Uh-huh. Sounds heavenly. One thing that you may not know about me, children, I love public play. Oh, do I love fucking with some vanillas. Oh, it is so fun for me. So I have to check the laws here in my state. But if all goes according to plan, then yes, we're going to just go out and about and really, really introduce some cute little vanillas to the beauty that is this lifestyle. Safely fucking with vanillas, right? Oh, you're the only one that is not allowed to cuss. Vanillas will feel the power. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they sense it and they feel it even when I go out without a submissive. Do you know the amount of conversation that I've gotten into? I have gone to my local herbal dispensary and I've gone in with my thigh-high PVC boots and just all black. And the boy behind the counter is like, I love your outfit. I literally swung my leg up on the counter, put my boot on the counter, and I said, well, did you see these? I'm shameless, you guys. I'm shameless. You can't take me anywhere. So, lucky vanillas. The boys are so easy. The vanilla boys are just so, you can subby puddle them with one look. So yes. And we have to make a big trip to Dom Depot too. Ladies, let me just also give you a tip here. If you ever need to get anything done at Lowe's or Home Depot, just dress like a dominant. Just wear some beautiful boots or some beautiful heels. Take 5-6 steps into that store and then stop. And count to 10. And you will have 3 betas scurrying to you at any given moment. Tried and true. Done it, tested it, happens every time. Home Depot. We call it Dom Depot. Would love to work in stores around my place. I can't help myself. I have too much fun. If you have to go run errands, you might as well make them enjoyable. Right? But it's true. It's so true, ladies. Tried and true. Tested. Butterfly is saying facts. It is. Totally true. Wear some beautiful boots or some beautiful heels. Take 10 steps. Stop and wait. Betas love boots. Boots. I mean, 2, but yes. Excuse me, where are the blowtorches? Excuse me, where are the blowtorches? My mama wants creme brulee. I think I would run over to ask if you needed help not even being an employee. Well, that's okay too, shy little darling. How tall am I? I am on the petite side, but with heels, I am very, I can get up there a little bit. Tall enough, yeah, tall enough. With heels on, I'll tell you that, with a good solid pair of heels on, I can get up to 5'9". I I won't be walking very much. And the thing is, 90% of that is my legs. 90%. I'm all legs. And also, ladies, only answer questions like that when you calculate heel height. All legs. You're 5'2", but you can still make your 6-foot little one melt. With heel height, you might be 5'. I know. She's a tiny little baby thing, and I love it. And that's the thing, Zara. Height has nothing to do with power. Height has nothing to do with influence. And that's the thing. I tell my femdoms all the time, go with what you have. I never have, never will be the 6'2" Amazonian goddess that will sit on your face and suffocate you. I really don't want to sit on your face anyway. So you have to go with what you've got as a femdom, okay? There should be no reason that I or anyone else who isn't that 6'2" Amazonian goddess, you should not feel inadequate. If I'm in your highest heels, you're 6 foot. Get it. But that's the thing. Size and height don't have to be indicators of power. Especially if you know your power, you know your authority, you know your dominant energy, you know how to maneuver it. It means nothing. He knows who's in charge. You embrace your feisty kitten fun size. Yes, you are feisty kitten fun size. Absolutely. Voice, tone, and authority. Absolutely. It's all about, but as an Amazonian sissy, oh, I like that. I can work with that. You can blend in, yes. Voice, tone, and authority. Absolutely. It's all about being able to maneuver the energy. It's all about being able to make a submissive just cower under your gaze, where they feel so seen, almost positively scrutinized by you. And that's when they start really sinking. If you can maneuver that energy exchange, it doesn't take much. After that. Mop self off the floor. See? Case in point. All right. So now that I have a subby pedal to mop up, I better get going for the night, everyone. But I have really enjoyed this extended time with you all tonight. Thank you so much for all of your beautiful thoughts and perspectives and energy tonight. I love and appreciate you all. And you all can stay and hang out with me here for a minute as I shut everything down. For those of you on YouTube, thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this crazy, kinky family we have tonight and always, really. And again, if you would like to join us next time, go over to patreon.com/LXerotica. Sign up at the $15 tier and up, and you can join us for all the fun every Friday night, including these Q&As. All right. Was fun. Absolutely been wonderful. Sweet and pleasant dreams to those that are going to bed. Yes, good night and have sweet dreams. Thank you so much. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. Good night and sweet dreams to all of you as well. Thank you again for another great session. My pleasure, Patrick. Thank you for hanging out. Love it. Shy little darling, I see you typing. You are so sweet. Enjoy your wine. Thank you for allowing us to gaze upon your beauty and to absorb your wisdom. Look at this girl. Oh, your daddy is very lucky, shy little darling. That was very beautiful. Make sure that he knows that he's very lucky. I will tell him that. Anyway, my dear, thank you so much for your sweet, sweet words. You are so sweet, so beautiful. All right, everyone. Mr. Growls and Erica here. Do I go back and hit YouTube first? Shut that down?
Yes, Mama.
All right, I have like 5 tabs pulled up. Okay, there we go. All right, YouTube. I will see you in a couple of weeks for our next kinky Q&A. I hope to have you over here on Discord, though, for next week when we play Sadistic Sims. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you again for watching. Good night, YouTube.